the last class we have started the 1.10th concept, distributed systems. So one example I have given was a banking, in which earlier days every person or the user should visit their bank to perform any type of operations like depositing a cash to his account, debiting amount from his account, transfer of the amount, or any account statement printout. So now what happens with the centralized systems opposite to the distributed? That means centralized system is all operations should take place in common geographical plants or places. So here everyone should visit a bank for all kind of operations. So that makes traffic of a person or the time more time it will take to perform the operations related to that main task of banking. So what the banking system has done, they introduced for cash withdrawal ATM machines, for cash deposit machines. Nowadays both are coming with together. For some of the expenses, bank have launched today, not today, these days, some of the UPI applications like a Paytm or Google Pay, Phone Pay, etc. So what happens here is work is distributed, so not all the person always should visit bank for any of the work. Through banking software or mobile applications of a particular bank, we can send some money to my friend account, or I can collect it from him. If I want to buy some product online or offline, I can visit a shop, either online offline. I can select and pay either through Google Pay or through the transaction or even through the card also. So here what happened is the workload or traffic of work on the banking as a center or as a room is reduced. So that is called as distributed systems. So divide the work and try to execute work in different geographical positions. So what is advantage is at the same place people will not gather. So if there is no gathering, it is called as kind of a service for the person. So one bank in a city, only one branch, they can manage all of the operations like giving money to his its customers, getting collected from the same, etc. So all things can be done by one branch. But just imagine what will be the difficulty, all works of a city done in only one bank, that to room. So in that situation, the bank should be very big in the size, should have most number of employees for the service. So to avoid that, we have concept of distributed system. Once the parts of a system are placed in one place, are planted in one place to another place, they should get intercommunicated through some network, that is called as TCP/IP. Okay, so internet protocol. Okay, so those are connected through some of the area networks like local area network, which we are using in college level or some institute level, wide area network, more than the college, somewhere like university level, metropolitan area network. It is used where there are cities like Bangalore, Delhi, etc. So which are metropolitan cities. There also local network will be there, that is called as MAN, personal area network. Within a home, one or two laptops or one or two computers, also mobile, will get communicated with each other. So generally we call it as a wireless dongle in our home. Okay, so if we have planted or placed a part of a main component, main system in different geographical part, they should also work with their operation is controlled by network operating system. So we cannot use a simple Windows in our ATM. ATM has a different operating system. So what is the task of ATM software or a ATM operating system is when a person insert a card, it has to verify the PIN number whether card is valid or not. Next, PIN number, that is ATM PIN number, whether it is valid or not. Also very important, no matter whichever bank ATM he is using, the ATM machine which is providing service for the user that moment, it should give connection to the original bank from which the user is debiting or crediting to. So successful communication should establish. For this communication to establish, there should be a good quality network. If there is a good quality network, we can expect better and safe transactions for the user. So this is what we have studied in the last part of our discussion. Then we have seen special purpose systems as a real-time embedded systems. Okay, real-time embedded system means their response should be on time and realistic. It's a very simple mobile. So I have a mobile in which, say for example, I don't have a internet. I am trying to download a file from the internet. So what my computer will give us is there is no internet connection, and there may not be sufficient space to download the file which the software I am downloading. So that means here we should be very careful, and the operating system is smart nowadays, that so whatever the mistake user will do, it will give particular error. Very simple way, the old compilers like C compiler or something, they used to mention there is an error in line number 40, but high level compilers, today's compilers, there is a error on line number and what type of error also it will mention. So that makes user comfortable to come out with the idea, come out from the problem. So multimedia okay, so where real world embedded systems are, they are used in mobile phones and ATM machines. So then we have seen multimedia systems which will process music or video files. Also they process sound, and we will get a color print or a black and white print. So multimedia systems you can see everywhere. Best example is mobile phone. So through mobile phone I can download image, I can download a video file, I can download audio file, I can upload all the 3 type of data, I can transfer it to my friend, or I can collect it my friend. So that is called as multimedia systems. Handheld systems. So these are the devices which we can hold in our hand, move it from one place to another place, and we can store data for small amount of a time. So I hope you all know the word called pager. Okay, pager. So it was the small device which was pocket size. They used to connect for a belt, or we can keep it in a pocket. So those were a kind of special purpose systems. Okay, so generally the special purpose systems, they have the RAM between 512 KB to 128 MB. Okay, that much small. Okay, so we cannot expect a pager or handheld devices equal to the computer capacity. Okay, mobile is trying to reach it, the scarce specifications or technical specifications of computer, but may not be possible. Just how we can see is monitor is of a 15-inch screen, but mobile cannot be that much big, and we can get a printout from the computer. So nowadays some mobiles will be communicated with printer, but not all mobile phones. So that means what, handheld systems, they are little lagging compared to the desktop computer. Okay, so then comes what is the word with respect to handheld devices, web clipping. So the web clipping means small subset of a web page is delivered and displayed on the handheld device. So very simple way is, we will open up VTube website and we will not see complete screen on our mobile. So what we will do, on the right top 3 dots will be there, we will click on that, we will go for desktop site. So then we can see the full window of the software or website of our university. So that is called as earlier stage is web clipping. Here clipping has happened, which file we wanted to see over the network. Okay, so once we adjust, then we can see complete visibility. So most of the websites will provide a mobile view as well as desktop view. That's the effect. In handheld web clipping in handheld devices web clipping occurs, whereas in desktop web clipping will not occurs. Okay, so next one is computing environment. So computing environment, here it's a kind of extension of distributed systems. Those are standalone general purpose machines. So all the type of activities we can do with this, they are standalone, means they are placed in one place and they are planted in one place. Once the concept of distributed has introduced, the part of system is moved from main to the some other geography. Okay, but is the service the same service which we have moved from headquarter or main station to the remote place? From in the main place it is not removed. Say this is a example. Can we withdraw money from ATM? Yes, today, nowadays. Okay, so can we withdraw money from bank now also, like old method, writing a slip and getting a cash? Yes, that is also there. Along with the old method, new methods are introduced. Okay, that will give us computation. So how we will compute? We will think whether going to ATM is a easier task or going to visit a bank is a easier task. So we'll compute which will take more time, which will take less time. If I want some big cash, I mean more quantity of cash, which something like 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs, then I cannot get it through the bank. I cannot get it through what? ATM machine. So only option I have is I have to go with the traditional method of visiting the bank, writing a slip. They may ask us to produce some document. Then we will get the cash, or some transactions is possible. Okay, so here also the subsystems are interconnected with each other. Okay, so to perform computing environments we need portals. What you mean by portal is it's a web access. It's a web access. We can see best or most discussed web portal or portal is CoWIN, which we wanted to tell also as a precaution for all my students, is to get vaccination of present pandemic COVID, we have to register ourselves in the portal called CoWIN. That means what? Portal is a in digital platform through which we can register, we can get information, we can upload information. Okay, so network computers, these are also like web terminals. Web terminals means which provides the data through or over internet. Okay, so then comes mobile computers interconnected via wireless networks. So most of the mobile computers nowadays in the lab or in the friends group, they are communicated through Bluetooth or some college Wi-Fi or department level Wi-Fi. That is called as wireless networks. Okay, so networking becoming ubiquitous, so it is a uniqueness for all. Okay, so every home it is network is going to be used. See, nowadays work from home culture has been introduced more and more. So that means what? Every home is dependent over the internet. Okay, so every home, in every home now we can see dongle, usage of a dongle, usage of a network. Every mobile, whoever we are using a mobile smartphone, again we will have internet in our internet packages in our mobile usage. Okay, so in the continuation of computing environment where there is a distributed system, the extension of distributed system is a client server system. So what do you mean by client server system? Which we are using in our day-to-day life internet. So you want to Google out cricket score, you want to check weather report of today or tomorrow, you wanted to check some stock market information, everything, whatever you want to Google out, So it's a client server architecture. So let me explain what you mean by client server architecture. Even though you are going to study this concept in your network subject, so here let me give as a part of this operating system. So client means one who request, server means one who offer service. Okay, so we will visit a hotel, okay, to have some cup of coffee or a tea. So there for hotel we are the client. There will be a group of serving people. So one person who serves to the table, in the background who prepares the tea, another person who manages all the supply, everything, who will take a empty coffee mug from my table, etc. So they all considered as servers, and who put order, it is called as a client. So same way I want to check cricket score. So what I will do, I will open up my mobile or a computer, I will double click on a Google or Chrome or any of the web browser. So there I will type live cricket score. So I am requesting now that I want to know the live cricket score. So what Google will do is, it will searches wherever the games are presently going now as a live. So it will start collecting the information. Once it gathers all information, it will give the result. So it will give multiple result. Always see, if I search something in Google, I will not get only one result like okay, so I will get many different results. So those all are results, whichever the result you are interested, that we can click and continue the discussion. So what you mean by here client and server is, client means one who start the service by requesting, server means one who accept that request and provide services. Okay, so here you can see the one diagram, left side server, right end where there is a cursor, these all are called as clients. So there is a one desktop, through desktop he is accessing, through laptop, and again through client smartphone. There are three different clients, they want to get service from the server. So we can imagine in the present world, lakhs or crores of people will Google out one type of question or something interesting. So generally we call it as a troll or viral. Okay, so everybody will keep searching similar content. So somebody will search through desktop, someone will search through the laptop, someone will search through his smartphone. So finally what they will do, what every user will do is, they will end up in searching a same type of question or same type of information. So for no matter in which type of system the client has requested, server should able to provide the service. Say I have searched live cricket score in my mobile, my friend has searched in his laptop, and another my friend has searched in his desktop. So for everyone it should show exact answer if it is available. If not, computer will tell us no such information available, like that. Okay, what is minimum condition to exist of a client server is, there should be a perfect quality of network between clients and server. Okay, so what happens, there will be one question, what happens if the present server to which I have requested data is not present with that? So then very simple, I have opened a Google page and I have typed IPL score, live IPL score. Maybe Google doesn't know it. So what Google server will do is, it will try to find out, is there a server related to IPL 2021? If yes, that Google server will establishes communication with IPL 2021 server. It will fetches information from there and give it to the client who is trying to access. So to do all this, always network should be there. If there is a no quality of network or if there is a no network, we cannot expect a perfect communication between client and the server. Okay, so this is most commonly used distributed system. And how it is justified that it is a distributed architecture? See here, one side client, what is total target? One person wanted to check a live score, and giving him the update about a cricket is a task. Here how it is divided, one end the person who will request for the scores, another end person who will give the answer for the live score. So both are kept in different geography. I am present here, Google server may be present in some corner of India or some corner of America. Geographically, where I am sitting and the server is located, both are very far. But even though both are very far, still we feel like server is with us for providing any kind of information, whatever we wanted to search. So this all happens just by the network. As I mentioned, how many types of network we have is here. You can see local area network, wide area network, metropolitan area network, and personal area network. These all are the types of networks what we can assume or expect in the presence of our day-to-day life. Okay, so coming for the next and last one here in our this chapter 1 is peer-to-peer. So that means what? It's a one more structure of a distributed system. Generally we call it as P2P. P2P, node to node connection. In this model, clients and servers are not distinguished from one another. So here client and server are connected, considered together. Okay, so all the nodes within the system are considered as peers. Peers means separate nodes only, and each may act as either client or a server depending upon whether it is a requested or providing the service. So here one point is what happens in actual client server. Only server is allowed to give a service. Client work is only to request. But whereas in peer-to-peer, if I have information, I can act as server. If I don't have information, I can act as a client. I request it from my friend or any other server, get the information and forward it to the one who wants to access. So what is total concept is every node is both client as well as server. When a node in the network acts as a client, when that itself doesn't have data, then it acts as a client. If it has a information, it acts as a source and give the information for the person or the node who has requested. Okay, so here what is important with respect to some of the peer-to-peer is when a node joins with a network, it registers itself its services. Okay, what all the services it can provide to a centralized lookup service table. Okay, centralized lookup service table. So that means what? If there are 5 nodes, among the 5 nodes, one acts as centralized lookup service provider and remaining 4 acts as normal service provider. Okay, any request coming coming directly to this centralized or to this any of the connected nodes, so they will forward with each other. If the information is present, directly given for the client. If information is not present, the information what client requested is searched among themselves and collected, given to the person who has requested. Okay, so a peer in the peer-to-peer connection who is acting as a client must first discover what node provides desired service by the broadcasting a request. Okay, for all the nodes present in that. So first the one who wants to provide a service, he should broadcast means at a time launch messages to all its interconnected nodes what every server can do, what every server cannot do. If it has that raw information, if any request comes to him from any new client, so simply he, instead of go on searching everybody, so with the small information what he has, he can directly give that request to particular server and collect it. Say simple example, there is one server called Google, another server called IPL 2021, another server called weather report. So I want to search IPL 2021. Then what Google should do is, if I request live score of IPL 2021, so always we cannot expect Google Chrome or Google server has every data. So what it should do, it should try to act as a server. But since it doesn't have update about the IPL live score, it has to establish communication between my computer with the. So once centralized node has details of all other connected nodes what they are providing, so if an external request comes, it will collect it and which node is ready to provide a service for that, and directly it will forwards to that. If it will try to establish a communication with the external node with the one of a node present in the peer network who is ready to provide a service. If it is busy with another, it will only fetches information from that node and give the service for user. So what user or a client will feel is he has got service from the server to whom he has contacted. Okay, so example what is Napster, okay, voice over internet, okay, that is called as Skype. These are the some examples where we will get peer-to-peer connection. Okay, so students, here we have completed chapter 1. Let me recall for some time what are the things we have discussed in our this of the chapter. Okay, so we started with the definitions, then components of the computer. Also we have finished the diagram, conceptual diagram. So then we have seen what operating system will do, its tasks. Okay, then roles of the operating system. Please remember this diagram, it's an important question. Computer system organization as a components of the computer system. Okay, then this diagram which I have explained explained 2 times. Okay, it's also important. So then we finished storage device hierarchy. Okay, then how the modern computer works. Maybe this question you can expect as a important, because all other concepts you have studied in your previous subject, C program or the data structure. So this is a first type. This diagram here which I am showing, this is first priority. Next comes is this one, how modern computer works. Okay, then here multiprocessor or a single processor. So then symmetric or asymmetric. Then comes operating system structure. There are multiple jobs, they may execute based upon their required hardware. Either they can execute separately or they can execute at a time based upon if they are wanted to execute separately, it is a concept called time sharing. Okay, next comes operating system operations, OS operations. So all the works done on time, resource allocation, making free, process creation, termination, etc. Okay, then we have seen a difference between kernel mode and a user mode, how there will be a transition from kernel mode to the user mode to the kernel mode. So then we have seen importance of process management, what is process, what all the steps or activities takes place whenever we are managing a process. Then we have seen memory management, this means RAM. Okay, so what are the things to be discussed in the RAM, or what are the important features whenever we are working with a RAM. Then we have seen storage management, which means hard disk or file in the name of file as a data structure. Then mass storage management. Then comes migration of data from disk to register with the help of this one. I hope you all remember, which I have took as a reference, storage device hierarchy. I took this as a reference and I tried to explain it. Okay, so then comes after the storage and mass data movement, then we started with the protection and security, definitions of protection, security, and how the user is identified, whether he is identified through user IDs or group IDs, etc. Okay, then we started today's discussion with the distributed systems. Then comes the special purpose systems. So computing environments in that distributed system is the first one. Next one is client server, then peer-to-peer. So maybe you can expect the question here also, that explain computing environments. Okay, so one is distributed, second one is client server, and third one is peer-to-peer. Okay, so that finishes chapter number 1, but not the module 1. Okay, so let's continue the chapter 2. Okay, so in the same module 1, the chapter 2 is operating system structures, about OS Okay, what are the it's a structure. So here we have somewhere around 10 points. So what are the OS services, what they can provide, the works, what it can do, user operating system interface, some of the system calls, types of those system calls, and system programming. I think you have in higher semester one subject about a system program, Unix system programming. It's a I mean next version of our OS. Okay, so like that we have 10 different points. All 10 points should be discussed and addressed. So what all the objectives of this chapter is, chapter 2 is we will describe services, what services operating system can do for user or for process or for the hardware. Okay, we will also discuss different ways of structuring the operating system, whether we want a single processing or multiple processing, when we should think about a single process architecture, when we have to go for multiple processor architecture or multi-programming. And also we explain how operating system are installed in our computers and how we can customize when we wanted to boot. Boot means restart. Okay, so what are the services given by the or provided by the operating system? They are almost 90% of services or activities are controlled by, I mean happening in the computer, they are the services of operating system itself. So maybe it's a program creation, typing a program, executing a program. One, if the program is under execution and it is expecting some input, that is also controlled by OS. After some input collection, if we want some calculation right now, so that calculation, after that calculation, if we again want data, then again collecting a continuous data from the user, continuation of the execution of the program with the help of second time collected data. See, everything, all activities in the computer are the services provided by operating system itself. Okay, so in how many modes we can define them is user mode, program execution mode, IO operations mode. So in the user mode or user way, how operating system will give us the service. See, I am using my mobile. In my mobile we have Android, or some of the student have iOS. So both Android is also operating system which is installed in the mobile, iOS or Windows are installed in the laptop. So I want to play the music. So what is the general tendency? I will open up one music player application like a VLC or some players, and also I will drag and drop the song which I wanted to listen. So immediately what I will get the output of song or a sound or some music. So here what happened, operating system started a software, operating system took the file of a music, it synchronized both, and it also requested the speaker to give the sound output, and like it also managed a hard disk to rotate like how the song plays line by line. See here, hard disk, RAM, then speaker, then song file, everything is controlled and executed by operating system. So here playing music is purely the operating system server. If what happens when we want to take a printout? So first what I will do, I will open up the PDF file, I will give a print command, I will get a printout, done. So here what happens, first the file will be generally stored in a hard disk, so I will double click on it. So once I double click, it is called open. If it is open, definitely its copy is present in the RAM. So now I will give print command, either control P or print command. So now what happens, print, according to printer architecture, data is split. Sometimes it is split line by line, sometimes it is printed as a image or pixels. So everything is slowly transferred to the printer. If the printer is high end, it is transferred fast. If the printer is slow, like what we are using dot matrix, so computer will also transfer data slower. So here what happened, the data transferred from computer to the end based upon batches, some command. So commands are also the kind of data transferring. So next, with respect to program, what are the services of OS? See here, I mentioned two things. One, listening a music, and another one is taking a printout. Here, with respect to program, what two activities done? With respect to program, song has been played. With respect to printout, the printout has been generated. So here in the both the cases, what is one common way is the program is successfully executed. What was the first program? Playing a music. Second program, taking a printout. So not all the time executing a quadratic equation is a program. Program means it's a some activity what we would do in our computer. Next comes is IO operations. So through keyboard collecting the data, through mouse again collecting the data, through scanner collecting the data. These all three are examples for input operations. What are the output operations? Printing it on monitor, printing it on printer, printing through printer, then giving the sound output through speakers. These all are output operations. Here also, if you don't have OS control over these activities, so whatever I give through keyboard is not collected successfully. If data its collection is wrong, definitely execution will be wrong, and output will also be the wrong. So to avoid that, we should have perfect control of OS over input as well as output devices. Okay, so then comes what are the next? File system controlling. So generally what we call a file in our computer is anything I have stored on the disk, hard disk, is called as a file. Maybe it's a photo, maybe it's a video file, maybe it's a audio file, maybe it's a word file, etc. Anything as a document, we call it as a file. So what are the operations controlled by operating system when we say as a file is creation of a file, entering data in the file, then reading a file, writing a file. Writing means updating the file, then deleting something from the file. Okay, then deleting file itself. These all are the operations controlled by OS on file system. So what are the OS services provided in the view of communication? See here, I want to download a file from internet to my computer. First thing, whether my computer is capable to connect with the internet or not. Internet adapters or network drivers installation. Yes, if it is installed, whether I am using a internet cable or wireless cable. Okay, wireless mode. If it is a wired mode, speed matching or not, proxy settings, then IP configuration. If I am using wireless, then whether the passwords are given successfully or correct or not. So once it is done, then URL checking. See, let's do this mistake. You will come to know. I will type google.com. So then what I will do? ggle.com. So what happens in the first case? Correct URL. So I will go to the Google page. In the second page, I have made a mistake. Okay, so that will take us to the wrong URL. So here also communication establishment is also done by OS. So after successful connection, I want to download some music file. So I will click that song file and I will try to download. So that is also controlled by OS. So error detection is one of the important thing. See, I hope you all remember we made a mistake when we used to type a C program or any of the lab program. So who used to identify errors in the program? It's a compiler. Okay, but indirectly compiler is also a part of OS. Okay, so now I will do this mistake. I hope you can you have seen. I wanted to give printout. I want to take a printout, but I have not connected printer wire to my computer or my CPU. So what happens? Even if I give the computer, I will get a warning: no printers are connected. So immediately what I will do, I will read out the statement: no printers are connected. I will check whether the printer is connected or not. So since there is a error message called no printer connected, definitely I have to connect both and establish communication between external device and main computer. If it is done successfully, then we will get a work done. If not, we will get a error. So based upon the error, we have to identify and find out what is important and try to fix that error. Okay, so with respect to resource allocation, what is the service of operating system? So what do you mean by resource allocation? We have seen in the chapter 1. There is a process, it want to execute for a while. So if execution of a process it needs some resources like a CPU cycle, memory time, etc., then we should establish communication. We should establish the operating system should give allocate those required resources to that particular process. If allocation is success, process will get completed. If process complete, n number of process will equal to program completes. So if program completes, the client will be happy for execution. Happy means he will finish. So here are the some names given for the name of many of the resources: CPU cycles, main memory, file storage, IO devices. Okay, next one is accounting. It's important. Keep track of how many processes are there, how many resources are there, how many are busy, how many are free. It's called scheduling. Okay, so if we maintain this accounting, it will be very helpful whether it is allowed to create a new process or not allowed to create a new process based upon it. Very simple way. Do we manage our amount every month once we get a salary? Either it's in the form of salary or it's in the form of some business profit. Okay, so everything we get, we will try to maintain some account. So this is my current bill, this is my water bill, this is some grocery, etc. We try to keep account. So one important thing with respect to account is, so we will come to know where we are doing unnecessary expense or where we should concentrate more, so that the problem should not occur in the future. So next one is protection and security. I have told the definition and the difference between protection and security. So operating system should provide good protection for the data and also security for the data whatever we have stored. So what we have today is some of the folder lock issued by central government, like a DG lock. Okay, also we use some password, some different combination password. So that means what here, protection is there, security is also there. Meanwhile, same way, some threats are also there from the network who used to hack our bank account. Okay, so in that situation also we should able to give operating system should try to protect our data and give best security to our data. Okay, these all are the services. So first service is user side, then program execution should be good, IO operations. The next one is file system manipulation. Then with respect to communication, it should provide a service. Error detection, yes, it has to do. Then comes resource allocation. It has to manage all the resources allocation to particular process correctly, and there should not occur any deadlock. Okay, then comes accounting. So management of managing of all type of resources and their processes and resources utilization. Okay, both should be well managed. So finally we end up with the protection and security. So in the view of computer operating system, how the services are there. See, you can see at the bottom we have hardware, just above that we have operating system. So just now I have mentioned some of its services. You can see here: program execution, input output operation control, file system, communication, resource allocation, accounting, error detection and protection. So where is a user? Always you see opposite side of a hardware is user. So what he will do? He will give some commands, like I think you have given a command in your C programming or data structure, GCC 1.c or GCC 1.cpp, etc. Some commands we have given, or else we have executed a double click, that's a graphical user interface. Okay, double click of a mouse on the icon. Okay, anything I do through some user interface, I will go for accessing the hardware. My ultimate target as a user is to get work done by hardware. So I cannot directly give instruction to that hardware. So through this step I am giving the this one order. So what computer should do? See, please remember this blue color box is a OS. Don't differentiate this level and this brown color as a different. See, OS itself consisting of everything. What are those? Graphical user interface, batch wise data supply or data collection, command line input and output. So some of the user interface applications. Then comes all the services which we have mentioned just above. Okay, so that finishes today's class. So we'll go for the next class in next explanation in the next class. Okay, thank you.